After a marathon session of Googling, I never could really find anything on the coax cable modem to help me solve the problem I was having of duplicating the signal. I looked through pages and pages of stuff, but nothing really gave me much detail on the inner workings of the remote. But I did discover this consumer IR page on Wikipedia, which gave me way more information on IR remotes than I was really intending on learning. But down here it mentioned frequencies, and it gave them listed from the ones most used to the ones least used, and that helped me fix my problem. The program I was using was set for 38,000 hertz, which is the most popular. But so I just went down the line and tried each one of them until I got to 56,000 hertz, and that was the one that finally allowed me to communicate with the coax cable box. In the last video, I glossed over how I was actually able to duplicate the IR signals and replay them with the remote. It is thanks to this guy, the Gadget Gangster. He has a nice website where you can find projects, tutorials, and boards based on the propeller chip. He uploaded an object to the Propeller Object Exchange that he made called the MagicIR. It has two methods, one for recording the IR code from a remote control, and another one for playing back that signal over an IR LED. This is the code for the MagicIR object. If you want to know how it works, you came to the wrong place. It's somewhat beyond me because it uses assembly language, which I failed twice in college, and the word assembly still makes me want to spit. But if you need to do something really fast, assembly language, which is right here, runs much faster than spin code. It's closer to machine language. So if you need to do something that's timing is an issue, like measuring the pulses of an IR LED, you need to use assembly language. MagicIR has two methods: store code and play code. The first gets the code from the IR receiver, and when you have the code, then you can use play code to play that signal back. Because I needed to duplicate a lot of codes, I created a program called IR Code Displayer. It uses the MagicIR as an object that it references, and it uses the parallax serial terminal object to send information to the parallax serial terminal, which we'll get to in a second. It uses a button on the propeller that I've added to start it, and then when I press the remote button, it stores that information into a variable like before on the IR Magic program. But then it displays this variable in a way that I can easily cut and paste it into my remote control program, where the information needs to look like this down here. So for each key on the remotes, I have to have the name of the key, name of TV power, and for each segment I have to know the length which his program gives you. And that IR code displayer then just displays this information in a format where I can just cut and paste it back into this program and change the names according to the control that I'm working with. To record the IR signal, we need an IR receiver, which is the same thing that's in the set-top box. It receives the remote control signal and tells the device what to do. Or, well, it doesn't tell it, but it's where the signal comes in at. So we got to wire this one to the propeller, And I don't trust my memory, so let's look this up here. The left pin goes to the prop. So we'll go to pin 0 for the left pin here. The middle pin is ground, so we'll go from the ground socket to the middle pin. And the last pin is power, which is 3.3 volts. So we go from that socket to the last pin over here. Now I made a program that uses a button that we'll get to in a second here, but we got to add the button to the board. And let's see, yeah, look at what I got here. Oh, I didn't use the right colors, so green is ground for my button, and orange is power. So I got one 3.3 power right here left. And yellow is going to the prop at, I think I had it at pin 1. And you'll see how these things become a mess really fast. And that will give me a button to activate things to start the recording. With everything hooked up to the demo board, we can now load the IR code displayer program onto the propeller chip. And then we can switch to the parallax serial terminal program and enable that. Then we can press the green button on that I added to the parallax, and then press one of the keys on the remote, and it gives me the code I need for that key. Then I can just go and cut and paste that into my other program as needed. In the next video, we are going to add the keypad to the remote control. And we will look at the logic that's going to have to be deployed in the program, because we're going to be using the keys and the joystick for different things according to which device is in use.